patterns and personal cycles through divine numerology. Any life transition you're experiencing can be illuminated by in-depth analysis of your chart. For the first time in Stockton, you now have access to a professional numerologist here to help you light your own way. I'm in the booth to help you find your own truth. Tune in to Divine Numerology every Friday at 3 p.m. on The Voice of Stockton.
This is Miriam, and you're listening to KXVS, The Voice of Stockton.
You know what I got? I got a picture of his face with the little pillow on, the sleep face, and we're in Chicago.
Are they already in Chicago? The one and only Leo Biaz. Hey, Leo.
I'm excited to be back, my man. It was 9 days in Vegas. We got stuck in the desert, and we had a little hangover remix out there, man.
I wore a wig to school once, and they said no headgear was allowed.
How did the
spider web
was it
tights.
Obvious that it was a wig?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was having
a terrible
fun.
wig.
See, this is exactly why we have them on the show, and this is what makes them fun.
You're listening to KXVS, The Voice of Stockton, 92.1 FM.
Do you want to relive the golden days of Stockton? Join Nate Knott on Stockton Alive every first and third Monday at 6 p.m. Tune into thevoiceofstockton.org.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Julie Dameron, local veterinarian for over 20 years. I am so excited about my new radio show, Tales and Tips, on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Voice of Stockton, and KXVS Radio. I will discuss relevant issues affecting animals and pet owners today, how to avoid common problems, and how to extend the quality of life for your cherished companions. As a community advocate, I will also discuss important social issues that affect our city. I plan to showcase organizations and heroes who are doing amazing things to help others. Remember to tune in every Tuesday morning at 10, starting soon.
My name is Josh, and you're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton, 92.1 FM.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Lion Conyo Day, welcoming you to our Monday show, Lions We Serve Live. And I'm very happy to be here with you today. I hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving holiday and getting ready now for Christmas. That's the next big thing coming up. Today we're going to have some special guests, and after my guests are finished, I have some other special announcements. But first of all, I do want to remind you, for those of you that are with Lions Clubs out there, that it is now time to be working on the Student Speaker Contest. So I hope all of you are starting to contact your students and getting them ready for the contest. And it's an exciting time of the year when we do the Student Speaker Contest, a great opportunity for our students in the high schools. And we just finished here at Stockton San Joaquin Lions Club, which I'm president of. We just finished our Peace Poster Contest. We had 84 entries. I believe it was 84 entries from 4 different schools in our area, and it was a very exciting contest. So I hope yours was just as exciting, and look forward to doing it next year again. So I do want to talk to you at this time about the fact that here in California, we're going to be having the Lions Leadership Institute. There's going to be 2 of them this coming year, 2019. The first one's in January 26th through January 28th in Santa Rosa, California. So if you go to the MD4 website, you will find the information and registration for this Leadership Institute. Also, the next Leadership Institute will be in Rancho Cucamonga, California, and that's going to be March 23rd through the 25th. So I hope that those of you who are Lions out there or interested Lions would go to this wonderful, wonderful leadership training. And like I said, you can go on the MD4 website and you can get the registration there. Okay, very good. And one of the things that's going on here in our area here in Stockton, California, and perhaps in some of your other areas, this is really the time of the year we start giving and thinking about those who are homeless, those who are without. The St. Mary's Dining Room here in Stockton, California has a drive called the White Gold Sock Drive. They're asking for sock donations to give to the homeless. This is something that the homeless need very, very badly. And I just wanted to tell you about this so that if you're in other communities or other states listening to our show, that you might think about doing this drive also. Now, I know at our club's Christmas party, one of the things we're asking all of our guests is to bring socks to donate. Last year, we were donating blankets and other types of things that homeless people need. And this year, it's the socks. So if you have the opportunity to talk with your clubs or talk with your friends in your communities, plan on doing a drive for socks to give to the homeless shelters. Okay? Thank you very much. Now, I'd like to move into our wonderful guests that I have here today because they have some wonderful information regarding veterans that's coming up here. And I would like to introduce, first of all, to my left here is retired commander from the Navy and Coast Guard, Vince Kilmartin.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here with us today. And then to his left is, you're retired too, right?
No, I was in for 10 years.
Oh, for 10. Well, that's
I'm
about.
retired from work. I'm
from
just
work.
not retired from the Marine.
This is Michael Emerson, and he was a sergeant in the Marine Corps, and he also was in Desert Storm and in Vietnam, correct?
No, ma'am.
No, Desert Storm.
I was in from 1982 to 1992.
92, I get them mixed up. Okay.
He's young. I was the Vietnam guy.
Okay, that sounds good, Vince. So what I'd like to do right now is have Michael talk to you about an upcoming event to recognize and to appreciate our military. And it's called the Military Appreciation Stockton Heat Hockey Game. So, Michael, can you tell us all about this?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you, Vince, for being here, too. Vince is actually kind of my right-hand man, although he's way more accomplished than I am, but he's humble enough that he can work with me, and we work well together. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. We're a team.
So what it is that I've been working with the Stockton Heat for some time, and we did a military appreciation game in their last season that didn't do very well because we weren't ready. You know, we only had like 2 weeks to get it prepared. But this year, we decided to go ahead and get a little bit more time, more effort, more energy into it. And so we got in contact with a lot of different veterans organizations locally. Now, Vince and I belong to a lot of these. Like I belong to the VFW, the American Legion, AMVETS, the Marine Corps League. Tons of them. Lots of them.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, so we belong to them. And what happens, we got in contact with them along with other organizations that are here in Stockton. And what's happening is that the Stockton Heat is doing a game specifically for military appreciation. So it's going to be on Saturday, December the 8th at the Stockton Arena. It starts at 6 p.m. And what happens is people can go online onto the Stockton Heat online and purchase tickets. And there's a list of different veterans groups. There's about 15 or 16 different groups. And if they select that team, then what happens is that when they purchase their tickets, between $3 and $6 of every ticket purchased will actually go towards that organization. So they'll actually get a check from the Heat for that money. So if you can buy lots of tickets, have some fun, honor veterans, be there to support veterans, and at the same time be able to get money to help support these veterans groups, who in turn help the homeless, help other veterans, help veterans that have just gotten active, that just got out of the service. So, you know, as members of all these veterans organizations, we want to help, but unfortunately sometimes it takes money. So if they can support it, that would be great. And that's one of the things. One of the nice thing too is that the Stockton Heat has purchased 8,000 hats, because they can have up to 8,000 people, and every single person.
You want to show the hat?
It's actually different than that.
Oh, it is different for this. Okay.
It's a camouflage hat.
Oh, the camouflage hat, yes.
And it actually has, it's very similar to the camouflage on the jersey that's on the flyer. And what happens is it also has Stockton Heat on it. So every single person that goes will actually receive a free hat.
Now, I understand that the tickets range from $12 to $22, depending upon where you want to sit.
Right. And
so that's not very expensive at all.
No, it's not. And what that's actually $5 cheaper than normal. So they've already lowered the price of the tickets. And then at the same time, for the higher end, they actually get $6. For the lower end, there'd be $3 for the organization.
So if I were to buy a $22 ticket, then $6 of that ticket would go to an organization, nonprofit organization that I would choose.
Right, and there's actually a drop-down list online, and you just select one of those, and that way they can get that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Right,
That's wonderful.
It's a great way for, again, local organizations, not only to have fun by getting their groups together and getting out there, because there's going to be, you know, we're going to have the national anthem. We have an inter-service group of like local active duty, Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force, and they're actually going to do a color guard. We've got a gentleman, a friend of mine, who's actually going to be singing the national anthem. There's going to be a lot of really great things and a lot of great times to honor veterans. We also have some Gold Star families that are going to be there. One of the Gold Star families that we're going to be highlighting, their son actually died on December the 8th in 2003 in Iraq. So the same, not the same year, of course, but the same day. So, you know, it's a very moving experience to do
yes.
that. One other thing too, before I forget, I'm trying to throw all this out at you.
Well, we got time. Just
if you have your uniform, and you can still fit in your uniform, a Class A uniform, dress blues, whatever, and you go to the box office before the game, you'll get a free ticket.
Wonderful. That's great. That's great. Now, you had said, too, out in the lobby area, there's going to be some venues set up?
Yes, ma'am. Most of the same organizations that are actually listed that are going to get money from the sale of tickets, they have a table. We have 16 tables with the Legion, with the Veterans, Homeless, Help, you know, lots of different organizations. And so you, before the game, and during the game, and after the game, there will be set up for people to get more information, to maybe, if you're a veteran, you want to join, that kind of thing.
Oh, wonderful. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's, again, we're really excited about it. We would love to have it full. We'd love to have this set up. It's something that they're planning on doing every single year. And it's one of the reasons they asked us to get involved, because we, as veterans, we're connected to all these veterans groups. We actually went to a lot of the local veterans meetings, some of them that we actually belong to, and told them about it. So the Ladies Auxiliary and the Post themselves, and they actually got involved and are helping to get the word out, and also telling people to purchase tickets. So again, it's going to be great. You're going to have a lot of people in uniform that'll be there. You'll be able to, you know, really get your veteran on, you know, your military on.
Well, I belong to the American Legion's Women's Auxiliary. I remember you coming to our meeting and talking to us about this, and everybody has been
that's how
pretty
we
excited.
First connected, actually.
That's right. And you were telling us about there's going to be an auction for the T-shirts or the sweatshirts, the jerseys that are going to be worn by the hockey team.
Actually, I don't know if. Oops, sorry. Let me grab this. I don't know if you can actually see it. I'll put it next to my face here, but this is what the jersey is going to look like. It's a camouflage jersey.
Let's see.
Face that way, I think.
Actually, I think the camera is flipping from person to person.
Yeah, it does. It flips from.
Here we go.
Okay, just put
sorry,
it.
sorry, Vince. You see that jersey right there? So what's going to happen is there's going to be a silent auction for the jerseys, and those that win the jersey, the players will take it right off them. If there's sweat or blood or whatever, they're actually they're going to get the jersey that they wore during the game, and they get to take it home and bring it to future games, etc. So it's kind of a cool thing to have a jersey that was played, on that game, and the players are very excited. I mean, they honor veterans. Everybody loves it. Now, speaking of gear and stuff, we also I've brought some hats. I've got 4 hats that I brought for the. And I'm giving them to Connie, and she is going to get them out there to her many, many viewers. We also have some wristbands, and these are actually from AmVets, and it's to honor the 22 veterans that commit suicide every day. And so it's a wristband that she can give away also. And then we also have 12 tickets. Ticket vouchers. You'll have to take them to the box office before the game, and they'll allow you to get in for free.
Well, for you who are here in Stockton, if you want to go to the game, would like to have a free ticket, and the first 4 people that send a message into the San Joaquin Stockton San Joaquin Lions Club webpage, or a Facebook page, which is on the bottom of the screen. If you would like to have a hat, the first 4 people that send in a message that they would like to have a hat, and you live in Stockton, you will get one, and I will bring it to you personally.
Oh, wow.
Plus a wristband. And those who think you would like very much to go to the hockey game, do the same thing. Go onto the Stockton San Joaquin Lions Facebook page. If you're interested, you live here in Stockton area, then put your name in there, your phone number, and we will be contacting you. And if you want to go, you will get a free ticket. Okay? Sounds good?
Yeah,
All
so
right.
Let's say we have 20 wristbands, 4 hats, and 12 tickets.
Right.
I wouldn't recommend wearing the hat to the game because remember, you're getting a free one.
Yeah, I'll
so
get you a free
wear
one.
that one when you get there. So.
But this is the Stockton Heat hat, which is
this is the official
can be worn everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, when you go to a Stockton Heat game or any place. Right.
Right. But like I said, go to the website, buy some tickets, support a local team. We're very lucky that a city of our size has so many sporting venues. We've got the Ports, we have the Heat, and now we also have the Stockton Kings. And
that's what basketball.
Basketball. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's great that we're able to we don't have to go all the way to, San Francisco or Oakland to see a baseball game. We can actually see one here and support a local team. And so the Heat, is owned by a national. It's actually owned by the Calgary Flames. But and it's kind of like their feeder team. But it's nice to support a local team and to see a lot of your friends and family and veterans there. So please come out.
And our Ports is also a minor league for
the A's.
Oakland A's.
Yes, the A's,
yes.
Right. And the Kings, of course, the Stockton Kings are owned by the owner. I actually went to the very first game here. And what was cool is that the owner was there. So I got a picture with me and the owner.
Oh, wow.
That he's
great.
the one who owns the Sacramento Kings.
Now, I'd like to ask another question here. You, in putting this game together, what has been the full motivation of what the game is for? The full motivation.
You mean for me?
I mean, for organizing this particular game.
Well, according to what the Heat has told me, and this is from the president on down, it's just to support veterans and just to let them know that they honor veterans, what they've done. You have to understand that less than 1% of our population is a veteran. I mean, you see a lot of veterans out there because we're wearing our veteran stuff with pride.
Right.
But if you look at the population, less than 1% of the population of the United States is a veteran. And so it's nice to get that appreciation, get that acclaim, to be able to know that this is helping other veterans, etc. And so they, it was their idea, it wasn't mine, and I told them, sure, I mean, I'd love to help you. And Vince and I both gave them ideas on what to do, but this was something they want to do, and it's something they want to do every single year. And Vince is going to talk about his organization, but there's also what's interesting is that many of the organizations that are listed on the website, they've also set up a separate game just for their organization. So not only are the Stockton Kings, the Stockton Heat, sorry about that, sorry Heat, the Stockton Heat supporting veterans on veterans for the veteran game, but they're also supporting other veteran organizations like Team RWB and the American Legion and Catholic Charities that support veterans. They are helping setting up a game specifically for them in which all the funds that are donated and generated will go to that specific organization. So this is for all of them. This is the big brother, and then they have a whole bunch of little smaller organizations that are actually trying to do and collect money specifically for theirs. So you can support not just this one, but if you keep your ears open, you can buy tickets to other veteran-related organizations and support them too.
So they will have hockey games for different organizations. The game will be specifically for like Catholic Charities or
Team
maybe
RWB
the Lions Club or the American Legions or something of that sort.
And by the way, any organization out there that's a charitable organization, I'm pretty confident. I mean, I don't work for them. We're not paid by them, and I don't have the authority to make any promises. But I'm pretty confident that if you're a charitable organization, the Heat will work with you and try to select a game that's available and make it a game where you are the primary donor.
Okay.
Or donee.
Or
benefactor.
Yeah.
Benefactor. That's a
benefactor. There you go.
He's been around. He knows more words than me.
Okay. Let me move over here to Vince. And Vince, you have what is your part in the military appreciation Stockton Heat hockey game?
Michael, I think a few months ago contacted me because we're in organizations. I'm in American Legion, the Navy League, etc., and asked me if I would be his assistant. And I said, great, I think this is an opportunity for me to not only work for veterans, but also for an organization that I'm volunteering for, which is Catholic Charities. So a little bit of backstory. I graduated from St. Mary's College in 1864 and got commissioned in the Navy, went to Vietnam on minesweepers, and wound up doing 15 years in the Navy and 20 in the Coast Guard. After retiring, I became a teacher and a principal. But my life since then, in the last 12 years, has been doing things for veterans in any way that I can, helping them become teachers, helping them with PTSD, those types of things. And with Catholic Charities, a lot of people don't realize that although they have a food bank and they have counseling services and immigration, they also have a veteran organization called Vet Fam. And so with Michael's help and with the Heat, we were able to add Catholic Charities as a benefactor of this particular game coming up. And then down the road, the Heat will do a full night for one of their games just for Catholic Charities. So again, Vet Fam is an organization that helps homeless families, low income, PTSD types of veterans. So it's just a wonderful opportunity to do that. I'm hoping the Stockton Kings will take that up and do a military appreciation night and maybe a night for Catholic Charities. So I was just honored to have Michael include me in this and have just really really enjoyed this working for the whole veteran Catholic charity organization.
Now, the Catholic Charities Organization you're talking about is here in Stockton, California, correct?
It's in San Joaquin County. There are three different offices. The main office is in Stockton. And
in Stockton.
Bishop Cotta is the director of the board members for Catholic Charities, and I'm a volunteer board member. I also help with the development committee, which looks for ways to raise money for Catholic Charities.
And then you said there's two other offices. Where are they?
Modesto and another one in San Joaquin County.
San Joaquin County, Modesto, and in Stockton.
Stockton, correct.
Okay, so where's the one in San Joaquin County? You don't know?
It's in my
okay.
book.
Probably somewhere north, like Elk Grove or something.
Right.
Sorry,
but if you know it's in Stockton, that's what's important. Excellent. And now, Michael, you were telling me about how nonprofit organizations can get onto the website.
Before I do that, though, one thing I forgot to talk about and for the Stockton Heat, and kind of made me think about it, was that there's also not only are veterans organizations and those that are connected, like Catholic Charities, involved in helping, but there's also some pretty prominent organizations here in San Joaquin County, like United Way, the Chamber of Commerce, Lincoln Center. Now, they're not benefiting financially in any way, but they have been really strong partners with us in getting the word out and supporting this game. So throwing a little shout out to some of these really quality organizations that are supporting the veterans group and veterans, not only just for this day, but they do it all the time.
Right.
But they're specifically listed as supporters, and they're buying tickets and they're doing all kinds of stuff, although none of the money is being given to their organization. So even though United Way supports it, they're not getting any of the money because they are not considered a veterans organization.
Right.
So I just wanted to thank them very much, and the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce has been amazing, and actually, you're friends with a lot of people at the Chamber of Commerce too. Right. So the thing about it is when you volunteer like we do, we end up meeting a lot of people, and we're also the kind of people that are pretty good at networking. So
Good.
I know a lot of people in the county, and he knows a lot of people too, and in the state actually. And so we're able to get these people, and when you have all these people working together for this great cause, it just makes it fun, and it also turns out to be amazing. But back to your question, you're talking about the one of the organizations that I am part of, right?
Right, and I wanted you to talk about that. Yes.
As I mentioned, I belong to all these other veterans organizations, and I've been everything from a commander to a district officer. I've been to the conventions and all that, and you meet and learn a lot of stuff. And one of my hobbies is I design and build memorials. And I've built them all over the country for veterans, for...
What kind of memorials are you talking about?
Well, I helped build the National Flight 93 Memorial at the crash site in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. I'm a 70% service-connected disabled veteran, and I helped build the National Disabled Veteran Memorial in D.C., the Cold War Memorial in Las Vegas, various 9/11 memorials around the area. Also, I helped build a Gold Star Memorial in Hayward, California, and I'm currently building one in Roseville. And I've been talking to the local Rotary about possibly building one here in Stockton. And then currently I'm working as a Desert Storm veteran. I'm working on the National Desert Storm Memorial. And so that's my hobby. I help design them and stuff. I don't get paid for it, but it's just something that I really like doing. And so in doing that, I've met a lot of people over the years. And one thing that happened to me when I got out of the service, and I know maybe you have the same happen to you, was that when I first got out, I knew I needed to go to the VA. So I did the VA, I went, I checked in. Everybody who's a veteran, even if you don't think you're service connected, I urge you to get into the VA system, because one day you probably will need them, but if you're in the system, then they can help you the same day. If you're not, you might have to wait 6 months to a year if you've been listening to the news. So if you have the time, go get yourself, even if you're 0 rated, at least you're in the system, and if something happens to you, you can go in. I have a friend of mine.
So you're talking about young men and women
young and old men and women
that have not yet been in the service.
No. I'm talking about somebody who's been in the service,
Okay.
has been out of the service,
okay.
whether it was for 2 years, 4 years, 40 years.
They need to connect
They
with-
need to go and join and get themselves seen and get put into the VA system, Veterans Administration system, even if they have no issues now. Eventually, they probably will have some issues. I mean, like, Desert Storm, we've got, the Gulf War syndrome. We've got Vietnam veterans that have Agent Orange.
Right.
I mean, I'm actually also on the burn pit. They've burn pits, the list, and also there's toxic water out of Camp Lejeune, which is a Marine Corps base in North Carolina. I'm on that list. So there's a lot of different things that you can learn about that might be affecting your health. And if you're not already on it, I know we're kind of going on a tangent, but if you're a veteran and you're listening, or you have a veteran that's a loved one, even if they don't need it now, get them in the system so that when they do need it, they're already in.
Right.
All right.
An example might be Agent Orange.
Right.
The VA does not go out of their way to let people know that if you served in Vietnam and you were exposed to Agent Orange, that different cancers, Parkinson's, are eligible for that. So the Stockton Record actually interviewed me and did a major piece with the VA to go out throughout their circulation and have veterans who were in Vietnam, if you don't know, go down to the VA and sign up.
Right.
Just as Mike was saying.
Right.
Oh, I remember during the Vietnam War and after the Vietnam War hearing so much about the Agent Orange, and then future years about how it was causing cancer, but it wasn't being recognized very well.
No.
And responsibility wasn't being accepted by the VA very well either. And so I'm glad to hear you're still talking about it, because there's still a lot of people out there that have the effects of it right now. Yes.
Well, one of the nice things is that the American Legion, the VFW, and these other veterans groups pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. Now the VA states that if you had boots on the ground, which meant that if you were in country, or even if you were on a ship that had it, you're automatically diagnosed with Agent Orange. And they went full 180. They go from, we don't care if you bathed in this stuff, it's not going to affect you, to now, even if you're just in country or on a ship that had it, you're instantly already diagnosed with Agent Orange and whatever how it may have affected you. So, and the other thing too that people don't realize, and like I was in South Korea on the DMZ, and there was a lot there, even during the Korean War at the end, they used Agent Orange then, not as much as they did in Vietnam. But there are also ships and other things that not necessarily Vietnam based that actually had that too. So there's that opportunity of having those toxins in your system.
Definitely.
And there's all kinds of other stuff. I mean, there's depleted uranium. I mean, I'm on that list too, from the shells that they use. Just, well, there's a lot. I mean, when you're in the military, okay, it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life, except for the birth of my children. I think it's the greatest thing I've ever done. But at the same time, we did.
You pay for it.
Pay for it in. Issues physically, just like an NFL football player. They'd never give it up, but a lot of these older guys are concussion issues and knees and backs and all that stuff. Same thing with us. I mean, we put our lives on the line. I was in the infantry, so I was out there marching and doing this and doing all this stuff that the infantry does, and it does take a toll. When you're 20, 30, it's not too bad, but when you get 50 and 60 and 70, it starts to pay for it. You pay for it.
Well, another thing, just kind of talking about what happens in the military, I have a friend that he never actually got into heavy action, but he worked in the engine room. He was exposed to a lot of chemicals in the engine room, and there was not a lot of safety at that time. And he ingested through breathing and so forth with oils and different kinds of chemicals, which has affected him now. Right. And he's been having a hard time making this known and being accepted by the Veterans Administration.
Right.
But it's not just on on the ground. It's in ships and different places where there is not the safety that we have. We have a lot more safety now, but I mean, it's.
Well, part of the situation in that area is that, first of all, when I first started dealing with the VA, I talked to a lot of World War II veterans because a lot of them, those guys are going away.
Right.
But they would tell me, whatever the VA tells you no, don't give up. Keep going for it. So tell your friend, it doesn't matter how many times they say no, eventually they're going to say yes.
Right.
Because it's just, they have to, because if it's legitimate and he was there and he's having issues, they will. You know, it's kind of a sad thing. In my opinion, I think the very first time you apply, it's almost like they don't even read it. They just deny you and hope you'll go away.
Sounds like Social Security.
Yeah, and then they also
disability.
sometimes are hoping you'll just die before, you know, they approve you. So, but again, join, don't give up, don't take no for an answer. So let's go back to what we were talking about.
You're talking about the veteranhelp.net.
So as I mentioned, when we get out of the service, I went to the VA, and that's when we got on that tangent. But other than that, you don't know what to do. You don't know where to get a job. You don't know how to get housing, education. You know, they're getting a little bit better. But I remember when I got to the Marine Corps, they said, "Thank you for your service. There's the gate. Good luck." And they don't pay you to get home. You know, they paid you to get to boot camp and all that stuff. They took care of that. But when you're done and you're not going to re-enlist, the gate's that way, good luck. You know, and that's it. So you're on your own. And so I had to learn all the stuff that I know now. Now I'm kind of like an encyclopedia of all the different veteran stuffs, you know, whether it's scholarships or child care or even burial services. So what I decided to do is build a website. And with some help of some really good friends and a local company called Retention Media, who donated all the time and energy to put it together, we built about 16 different buttons on this website. And it's veteranhelp.net, veteranhelp.net. It's a completely free website. And what you do is you go online, and there's the first button is a calendar of events. So you can click on that and see what upcoming events are here in the San Joaquin County. Whether it's like, you know, the Military Appreciation Games on there and Veterans Day and all these other things are on there. But there's also other buttons that you can go for education, housing, legal services, child care, women's services, even burial information, other veterans organizations they can go to, homeless veterans. So, I mean, I'm not going to list all of them, but what happens is you go online, you click the button, it takes you then to another page which has a whole bunch of choices, and you can maybe try to get it more specific to what you want. Click on that, and it takes you to the website. You don't deal with me at all. You're just using our website as a way to find where you want to go. I find it easier than Google. It's just things like type in something like, you know, veterans help, and I get like a porn site or something. It's like, no, this is something that you go to. I'm serious. It's like, it's crazy. You know, just, you got to be careful with, like, my kids. Like, don't put anything that says something a little bit weird, because you're going to end up not where you want to be. But this is specifically all about veterans, only for veterans, helping veterans. And then if you have an organization, and by the way, it's also more geared towards San Joaquin. Some of these are national organizations, but they have a footprint here in San Joaquin County. So, of course, you know, if you have a family member that's somewhere else and you want to help them, fine. It's not a problem. It's free. It's open 24 hours a day. You don't have to ask me any questions. You just go online and just follow where you need to go. But there are two places. One, if you have an event, you have a flyer, you just go online, you click on, there's a thing, you know, I forget how I worded it, but it's just you click on it, and there's an application online that for upcoming events. And you send me your flyer, the board looks at it. If we approve it, we put you on the calendar of events.
You send it electronically.
Yeah, electronically.
It can be attached to.
Yeah, there's a place to do an attachment, the whole thing. It's it's very simple. You
like
put in
an email.
Yeah. There's also a button on there if you want to send an email, if you have a question. And then there's a mission statement also. You can click on that for your mission statement. And then next to that is also a site. So if you have a site, if you have an organization that has a site, because that's the one thing, is that we need you to have a site.
Right.
Whether it's Facebook or something, we have to be able to get that person to your organization. Not just a phone number or something, because it's not how it works. It's a link. So what happens is, let's say you're an attorney and you want to do free legal work for veterans.
Exactly.
Here in San Joaquin, the guy would click on legal, then they would come up and there'd be a bunch of buttons for legal help, and then there would be, John Smith, attorney at law, and they click on that, would take them to their website, and then they just deal with them direct.
Now, Christian, somebody who might come across your website that doesn't live in the Stockton area or in San Joaquin County, but needs information, can they possibly go to that organization that's listed there, and that organization could direct them to the organization in the other city or wherever they're at? Is that a possibility?
90% of the organizations listed have a much larger footprint.
Okay.
They so you go there, and even if for some reason it's a Stockton-centric or San Joaquin-centric, if you contact them or just go to the next button, it'll take you to either a state agency or a national agency or organization. So nobody has ever contacted me and said that I've not been able to find what I wanted to. You might have to go to a couple of buttons. You might have to call Joe Smith and have him give you another number.
Right.
But it's to us, it's kind of like a road map where it's almost like a tree with roots.
Exactly.
You click on it and you just kind of follow it down till you find what you want. But it's so much easier than when we got out, where you were just kind of on your own. You hope, you get some information from the VA, you get some information from a local veterans group, but you don't really know. And with the internet, which is such a wonderful tool, because we didn't have that either.
Right.
With the internet, you can really find so much. I mean, there are so many scholarships for veterans and veterans' children that aren't used every year because they don't know about it. But there's a button for scholarships, and they can go on there and find scholarships, education. I mean, there's all kinds of things. And then one other thing, too, that a lot of women are not getting the services, because for us veterans, I think they're taking pretty good care of us, because the World War II guys and Korea, Vietnam, they kind of have that process going. But women, I think it's fairly recent, probably even the last 10 years, that they even started to have separate things. I mean, I've heard stories about women from the Vietnam era that were given men's items because there's nothing for women. Whether it's a cane or medication or whatever, that was all geared towards men. But now there's women's resources. And so we actually have a button that's in pink right in the middle for women's resources.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so everybody's taken care of. And it's also not just set up for veterans. It's also set up for veterans' families and their children. So a wife could go there. If she needed help while he was deployed, she could go online, click on it, and get some help.
What about families of the veterans that have passed away?
Well, yeah, I'm sure that there's something like that, but I forget, maybe you can help me, but there's an actual, when you have somebody are you talking about passed away during the war or after the fact?
As an example, I have a family. The father adopted all my girlfriend's children. They were married, and he adopted the children. They had one child together. He went to Vietnam. He was killed in Vietnam. In fact, his name is on our Vietnam memorial across from our civic auditorium.
Oh, yeah.
And he's also on the moving wall.
Was she a beneficiary?
Yes.
And those kids are recovered.
Yeah. And she just passed away 2 weeks ago. And now her children and grandchildren are left. And I was wondering, would any of these organizations be able to help them?
I'm pretty confident they would. Remember that both Vince and I do not work for the VA. We're not even. I'm not even a service officer, because there are service officers in different groups. So I'm just relaying the information. I'm not. It's kind of like. It's like a guy who pretends he's a doctor and he's like giving you medical advice. I don't want to give you advice.
But there's a possibility.
Oh yeah, I would think there should be, because it's, if he adopted those children and he was killed in Vietnam, I know that his wife was covered and his children were covered. So with her being gone, but again, if you go on this website, if you go on veteranhelp.net, there it is. There is a link that will take you there.
Okay.
Just keep clicking, make the phone calls, send the emails, and eventually they're, and again, if anybody thinks that we're missing something, please tell us. We'll add an extra button if we need to. We'll add another link if we need to, because it's a growing thing. We get applications on a fairly regular basis saying, hey, we think our organization should join. You just mentioned that you'd like the Lions to be part of it.
Right.
Send an application. The board will look at it, and we'll add you guys. It
We
doesn't
have
cost
many,
you,
many veterans in the Lions
it costs
throughout
you,
the whole world.
Well, it's not just that you have veterans in the organizations, is that your organization is going to help veterans, and you're doing it for free. We don't want people that are going to charge veterans. You have to be able to, if you're willing to do it for free. That's the only time we've ever turned somebody down, is when we found out that they were charging veterans for that service. And some of them are not even for profit, but they're still charging them because they have to pay for whatever the cost is. So we do it, hey, if you do it for free, we'll add you in for free, and you help our veterans. That's the key.
See, the Lions, we have two budgets. And we have one budget that is administration, and we have one budget that is for the community. And all the money we raise goes back in the community. And then we have to raise our own money for our administration work. But anything that we raise, anything that we do is basically, it's always for the community. So if we're doing things for the veterans, like when I worked the moving wall, Vietnam moving wall last time it was here, I was representing the Lions Club during that, even though I belonged to the Women's Auxiliary. And with it coming back this coming June, we'll be working it again as volunteers. Well, I want to thank you so much for all of this information. And all of you, please go to the website that is scrolling at the bottom of the page here and get the information about the Military Appreciation Stockton Heat hockey game coming up on December 8th. At the arena here it is called the arena, right?
Stockton Arena.
It's the Stockton Arena. I get it mixed up with our baseball stadium. The Ports baseball stadium. And if you, like I said, if you do want a free ticket, go to the Stockton San Joaquin Lions Facebook page and give us your phone number and your name, and I will get in touch with you. And the first 4 that do contact me through the Facebook page, you will get a hat if you're in the Stockton area. Okay? So I want to thank you, Vince, Commander. I'm so thankful to see you again. You were on before. So great.
Thank
and
you.
so good to see you too, Mike.
Sure. Thank you for letting us get the word out.
Yes. Yes, we definitely will. And I will be seeing you on the 8th of December. Okay, and I will be announcing this again next week on our show and talking about it. And we'll be keeping your flyer up on the wall here, and hopefully some of our other Lions who have programs on KXVS will also be talking about this. Yes, so thank you.
Thanks for having us. To support the community.
Oh, well, thank you, too. I've been doing it for many, many years.
Well, your name is Lion Connie.
Lion Connie for Lions.
I know. I mean, when your name is part of the organization, that's...
Yeah, we always call all of our members Lion Connie or Lion Don or Lion this or Lion that.
You're doing a great job.
Yes,
it's good
well,
you're
thank
not
you.
lying about it.
No. Well, I do want to say, I'm just going to give this last shout out here to my audience, is that for those of you who are members of Lions clubs and internationally, our international president did give awards out to the different districts who had people with outstanding leadership. And each district was given 4 awards by the international president, and our radio show and I got an award for outstanding leadership in our community for marketing Lions clubs and working with the community. So I was very proud about that.
That's great.
And so I want to tell everybody also, September was 1 full year we've been on the air. So I hope you'll continue to stay with us and help us to grow and tell your friends about us. And we will see you next week at the same time, 1 o'clock, Monday, for Lions We Serve Live. Okay, so thank you very much for being with us.